Thanks very much for staying with us here on News 360. My name is Nana Kujafre with the sports update. We'll focus on Kumasi Asante Kotoko because the drama continues in the club after their 1-0 defeat to Aduana Stars. And live patron of Kumasi Asante Kotoko, Otumfuo Osei II paid Kumasi Asante Kotoko playing body a visit at their Adakojache training grounds unannounced amidst the club crisis. This follows the confusion between management and coach David Duncan, who has refused to quit the club after he was asked to step aside by management. This has deepened the cracks and factions within the ranks of the Porcupine Warriors, forcing the life patron to visit the club unannounced. But according to reports we're getting from Kumasi, the life patron of the club, Otumfuo Osei II, has asked the playing body to play for him and ensure that they continue to win their games and stop focusing on the issues that has to do with the crisis between the management and the coach David Duncan. So other news we're picking from Kumasi also indicate that Otumfuo will dissolve the board and management of Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Will confirm that news for you. That is news coming in from the camp of Kumasi Asante Kotoko. But then Kotoko's attempt to sack David Duncan as coach took a dramatic turn today when they had to switch training venues to avoid a clash with their former boss.
You could call it the Kotoko soap, set in the garden city of Kumasi, with the club performing poorly and a manager who knows how to fight as the chief protagonist. Kumasi Asante Kotoko's attempt to sack David Duncan is getting messy, and it's being played out in front of an audience that is watching with a mix of shock, embarrassment and amusement. Kotoko told Duncan after Sunday's defeat to step aside as coach. He said his contract had no such provision. So on Tuesday he reported at Adakojache to take training he had scheduled before his sack. Alone, he set up the cones and the training pitch and took his place on the bench. At the same time, the Kotoko team was at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium training under Michael Osei before they were told at a breakfast meeting that all will be well. Many of the club's fans are not convinced. There has been a feeling that this embarrasses the club and exposes it to unnecessary ridicule. There is also a feeling that Duncan is stretching the issue unduly. Sports journalist Gary Barabiu, who was at the training grounds earlier, says the coach disputes that.
For him, this turn of event is very, very surprising going into this weekend's game against the Liberty Professionals. And I asked him that with the management resigned their decision to allow him to continue his job. He says he was ever ready because he never runs away from any club. Anywhere he goes, he never runs away. So he's ready. He's ready for the battle. Even today, according to Duncan this morning, if the club decides the decision and they give him the go-ahead, he's ready to work with the team to complete his last season with the club. So for him, he's very calm. I don't think he's stressing the issues unduly like many people believe out there.
Whichever way this ends, it is unlikely any of the parties would come out looking good.
We still stay with Kumasi Asante Kotoko. David Duncan has been asked to step aside, potentially open a job at one of Ghana's biggest clubs. It has been a nightmare season for Kotoko, and they would want a quick rescue of their chances this season. We take a look at potential replacements for Duncan should he depart following the ongoing spectacle.
There is drama currently being played at Asante Kotoko, with the club's management asking David Duncan to step back as head coach of the club. He has been under fire since the start of the season when his side lost 2-0 to Wafa in the Ghana Premier League's opener at Sugakope. Since then, Kotoko only won once in 5 attempts. The latest defeat came against Aduana Stars last Sunday, a result that prompted the club to take a bold decision in asking him to step aside. We take a look at 3 potential replacement options for Kotoko should Duncan depart. Michael Osei, Duncan's assistant, who is currently taking the club through drills in their training session without his boss, is one man capable of taking up the mantle till season's end. It is believed by local fans that he is the right man to stem their downward spiral. Osei is seen as a through-and-through Kotoko man, having served the club diligently through his playing days. Kwesi Appiah. Although a surprise inclusion, the former Black Stars tactician is one of the high-profile coaches Kotoko co-tend to. After all, during difficult spells under former coach Masoud Didi Dramani in 2013, Appiah was reportedly approached by the club's management to serve as technical advisor to the Black Satellite trainer. Appiah, who guided Ghana to the World Cup in 2014 and now manager of Sudanese side Al Khartoum, could be swayed to Kumasi if the offer on the table is good enough. Tom Strand. It's unclear the motive for Strand's decision to stay away from Mediama's training session ahead of last Wednesday's outstanding Premier League game against Brecum Chelsea. But it did fuel reports that he was edging closer to signing with Kotoko amid widespread reports. His side have not fared too well in the Ghana Premier League that saw him clash with his colleague technical staff, ironically, in their game against Kotoko early this season. Should the discord continue within the Takwa-based club, Strand could make a switch to local giants Kotoko to replace the beleaguered Duncan.
Let's go to England now. Less than 24 hours after being confirmed as Chelsea's next manager, reports have emerged that Antonio Conte could face a suspended 6-month sentence over his alleged role in a match-fixing case. The Italian public prosecutor Roberto Di Martino submitted his request today against the former Juventus manager. Conte is accused